I'm going to reflect on something here. And again, for one of these videos that I make in this format where I'm not totally sure what I'm saying, or I'm fumbling my way along as I'm saying it. Although this one I'm determined not to make, not to have be too long, just because I don't feel like sitting in here going on for too long. But as usual, it might be a little rambly, and I do suggest, if you're gonna watch it, which I appreciate, watch it on 1.5, and that would probably be better for you. So that's what I would do if I were watching it myself. I had an interesting conversation with my daughter the other night, as I stated in my review of Late Night with the Devil. This was a movie that I watched with my daughter, Hannah. And over the course of talking about the movie, something came up where there's, without giving away too much in the movie about the movie, there's a character who's very sick, and it's very distressing to see this character in this very haggard state. And what Hannah and I both thought of course, was my mother, Hannah's grandmother. We both thought of her at that moment. It basically can't be helped. It's only natural that we would think of her, because we saw her in a state where she wasn't looking her best. And this scene definitely recalled that event. But what I realized when we were talking about it was, for Hannah, this was something that she almost took her out, almost made her not want to see the movie. Even though she enjoyed it a lot, she said, I might not want to see it again because I don't think I can handle seeing that scene again. And I said to her that I knew what she meant, but that for some reason it didn't affect me quite as strongly. I'm not sure why. And she said, well, maybe you're just tougher than me. And I said, I don't feel tough. I don't know. I don't feel like I've never felt tough. I've always wanted to be tough, but I've never felt tough. But in this case, there is, and I think in general, since I lost my mother, I haven't gone to pieces the way that I thought I would. In general, does this mean that I don't miss her? Of course not. Does this mean that it wasn't devastating? Of course it was. It was devastating. But I've been able to. I hate to say compartmentalize, but I think it is something like compartmentalization. I've been able to forge forward and deal, better than I expected myself to be able to. Better than if I had imagined the scenario playing out. I definitely wouldn't have expected that I would be able to deal, so well with it. Not by so well, I mean that it would be less of a distraction. Again, not that it isn't a distraction, not that it isn't something that has had an overwhelming effect, but I somehow can keep that storm at bay. And of course, at times I wondered, is there something wrong with me? Does this show, am I that unfeeling? Why am I not feeling it more? But I don't stay too much in that state of mind, because I don't think we're not in charge of our feelings, for one thing. I don't think you should ever rake yourself over the coals over feeling a particular way or another way. What matters is how you treat people, you know, what you do. Uh, I think what matters to me is that I pray for my mother, which I do, and keep praying conscientiously for her, and that I honor her in the way that I live my life, and so forth. Um, and that I take care of and help out my father, of course, for whom this has been, also a devastating uh, um, event, as you can only imagine. But what it made me think of, when I was thinking about it afterwards, when I said, no, that's not, I didn't think it was because I'm tough, uh, or anything like that. Okay, here's where I'll rewind a little bit. I remember when I was young, and having what I thought was a brush with death, and it was it was incredibly frightening. And I remember thinking to myself, how am I ever going to? I'm going to have to deal with this, because we do have to die. So how am I going to be able to deal with this when the time comes? And then I remember hearing a voice answering my own question, or maybe it was God answering my question. But what I remember saying to myself was, well, you have to have faith that when that time comes, you'll you'll have you'll be equipped to handle it. Maybe now you don't feel like you feel like that's an impossibility, but uh, but you have to have faith that whatever happens, however it might seem like it's going to just destroy you now, that you're more resilient than you think, and the source of your resiliency is, of course, divine. It's not you. It's God bearing you up, for lack of a. I'm putting it that way, for lack of a better way of putting it. I don't mean to exclude anybody who's not religious, but I want to make this ecumenical here. I don't want this to sound like I'm proselytizing or anything, even though I have my beliefs. But I think you have to believe that you will be, that call it what you will, call it God or something else, um, whatever faith you believe in, whatever faith you subscribe to. I'm not being universalist here, or I'm not being indifferentist here, but I am just trying to not be proselytizing, because that's just not my bag. It's not that I think one point of view is as good as another. Just to be clear. But anyway, so I remembered thinking that, and like, oh yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe when the time comes, you'll be able to deal, you know. And I'm thinking that must be it. That must be what's helping me in this time. When I would think I would just be, I would just be having a difficult time functioning, and a difficult time being strong for others, like being strong for my kids. You know, I haven't had that problem. So I guess the whole point of this video, because I don't want to make this too long, is that I hate to put it this way because it almost sounds like jargon or something. But I'll say the jargon-esque thing, and that's have faith in the process, trust the process. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean that we should, whoever, and you should, whoever you are, whoever. I think this applies to everybody who for whatever reason is watching this. Don't despair when you consider what might be ahead, because not because it's not as bad as you think. It's probably as bad as you think, or worse than you think. But what you underestimate, what we tend to underestimate, is that there's something out there that helps us deal with it, and to have gratitude for that, to not just take that for granted, but to be grateful that again, the way I would put it, that God has our back when we need it, and He knows when we need it. So I'm getting a little more. I didn't think I would get emotional here, but the emotion is coming from the thought of the gratitude, the feeling of of having been granted this gift freely. So there you go. Let me wrap this up here at 12 minutes something. If you have any thoughts or ideas of your own on this subject, please feel free to leave them below. And thank you very much for watching.